And there we go. Now we're going to push all the buttons, and I think we're all live here. We're all ready to do. Make sure I'm looking at all the mixers and microphones and sound levels and everything else. Well, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. What I tell you what, it is Friday already. Here we go. You know what? Aloha. Well, hello there. Oh, aloha from Hawaii. Oh, MSK. Miss Kim, Brad. Miss Kim is saying aloha from Hawaii. I am very jelly. Well, thank you, Melissa. I've never been to Hawaii, but I've always heard it was really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Is death the end? Absolutely 1,000,000% death is not the end. Wonderful, Mercedes. Under any circumstances. I had a near-death experience where I had an issue. I've talked about this before. I had a Dr. Jeffrey Long on, who is a medical doctor, who is the world leading expert on people who have clinically died and have come back to life. As a matter of fact, he even told me he wanted me to put my story on his website, which I did. I am telling you now, without question, that death is not the end. I am 100% certain of that. 100%. 100%. But first of all, I'll address that in just a second. For those of you, I appreciate you all being here. I am absolutely, yeah. See, is it Little Joy? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to also go to a site, NDERF, and you follow that up with a .org. Moderators, if you could put that in the chat, NDERF, and go to a .org. It is the world's largest collection of people who have clinically died and come back to life. Again, Dr. Jeffrey Long, he owns it. I've had him on the show several times. It is phenomenal. So very, very quickly, a lot of you have already heard this story, but just indulge me for a moment, because there are people that are really legitimately terrified of death. But before we do this, I want to get into the introduction. So I'm Bishop Long. If you want to go to my site, you certainly can do so. Bishop James Long. You follow that up with a .com. Please do me a favor. I want you to, if you would, consider clicking on the fundraiser link. One of our clergy members, we don't get paid as clergy in the Old Catholic Church. We don't receive stipends or salary. We fund our own ministry with our own pocket. That's how we do it. And because of that, we have issues like everybody else does. And there is a clergy member that is in truly serious need of help. And because of you guys, I think there was like $100 or $150 in there. I posted it on my TikTok, and now they're up to $800 and something. So we're trying to raise about $1,300 to help with the bills. The problem is hours are being cut at work, and you can't control that. So that's not right. These companies are making money hand over fist. And what they're doing to many full-time employees is they're cutting their hours to part-time so they can save on cost. I get it. It's competitive, but my gosh, people have got to survive too. They got to pay. They got to pay their bills. So if you would please, we're almost right there at the goal, and then that'd be great. By the way, I have never once asked 1 penny for me, not once. But as a bishop, I'm responsible for the clergy that I shepherd, as well as the laity. And I will scream at the top of the mountainside when one of our members are hurting. We are all hurting. So if you would please consider doing that, that would be wonderful. And that would be very, very, the clergy member would be incredibly grateful for it. And I'm sure that they will, thank you and all that other stuff. So if you can, just go to Bishop James Long, L-O-N-G, follow that with a .com, and you just click on the fundraiser link, and you'll see clergy member. We're really close to our goal. So thank you for that. Also, I want you to go to my site and click on the books link. Now, if you do that, I have several books there that are for sale. Thank you. And before any trolls start sprouting off, hatefulness, let me nip this in the bud real fast. 100% of the profits we as a community are donating to the MKS Kids Foundation. It is an orphanage. And so we're helping them to the best of our ability. We're a small community. We can only do so much. So, but we're going to try to continue to help in our limited capacity. And so those are my books. It's my work. I have every right to have the funds go into my bank account. But as a community, we have decided to help. Okay? So you can do that. And don't forget also, all the shows are on podcast, except for night prayer, I don't think is. But you can go to the Bible study is, and the show is podcast. So you can go to my site, Bishop James Long, follow that up with a .com and click on the podcast link. And tonight, we also have night prayer. Well, thank you. There be night prayers at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? If you want us to pray for your prayer petition, technically the time is over because the cutoff time is at 10 o'clock. Hold on, everybody. Just hold on to the questions. Let me get this finished. So what I want you to do is go to my site, my TikTok profile. If you want us to pray for your prayer petition tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, then go to my profile right now, and you will find the video that says, place your prayer petitions before 8 p.m. Eastern. We're a little over, but that's okay. And you got to do that right now. And then we will pray for your prayer petitions tonight at 10 p.m. during night prayer. Just put your first name before the prayer petition, if you would, please. And again, that's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday, we have Mass right here, only on TikTok at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's at my private chapel. It's open to everybody. And then 8 p.m. on Sunday is our Bible study. 10 p.m. is our night prayer. So we are slammed. We have a very, very busy schedule, and it's all there for you. All right. So from now on, Friday night shows will start at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of our normal 7 p.m. Those are done. Those are gone. We're not going on air anymore on 7 p.m. For now on, it'll be 8 to 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is how we're going to roll. All right. So here's the deal. Tonight is Friday. It's Paranormal Friday night, and this is the night where we have a good time. We talk all things scary and spooky, share some stories, perhaps maybe that might be a little scary or spooky for you. I have several articles that I want to present to you that are really interesting. We'll do that a little bit later on in the show. But tonight we have a very special guest on. As you know, he is our dear friend. We've had him on last week. And, recently he buried his wife. And she is a truly gifted, very gifted, beautiful, beautiful soul. And so Willie, for those of you who don't know Willie Windwalker, he's a shaman. Willie Windwalker Gibson is a renowned shaman, spiritual healer, author, highly respected for his work, and bridging traditional Native American spiritual practices with modern, holistic techniques. And how did you become priest? I went to the seminary. Yeah, I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years, received my minor orders. So I was trained by the Benedictines and the Jesuits. Willie was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. He carries the wisdom of ceremonial traditions, his Native American and Cherokee heritage, which I have. I'm also Cherokee. His unique insights and abilities as a shaman have made him a sought-after guide for those seeking spiritual clarity and healing. Willie began experiencing spiritual visions and encounters at a very early age, leading him on a lifelong journey to embrace and explore his innate abilities. Over the years, he's honed his skills in various shamanic practices, including meditation, energy healing, spiritual counseling, with a particular focus on connecting individuals to their ancestral spirits, guiding them towards balance and harmony in their lives. Before those of you are going to continue to spread your hate, as some of you trolls normally always do, Willie is also a devout Christian. He is a versatile and engaging speaker. He's appeared on numerous radio and television programs, sharing his profound knowledge of spiritual realms and enlightening listeners with stories of angelic beings and powerful healing experiences. His approachable style and deep understanding of both earthly and spiritual worlds have resonated with audiences around the globe. And in addition to his healing practice, Willie is an accomplished author. He's written several books that captures vast experience and insights, obviously to inspire and empower others on their own spiritual journey. His writings explore a variety of topics, including shamanic rituals, sacred connections with nature, encounters with angelic spiritual entities. And through his work, Willie is dedicated to fostering a deeper understanding of spirituality, cross-cultural connection, and personal transformation. With compassion and clarity, he encourages others to embrace their own spiritual gifts and live authentically. Now, for those of you who are wanting to know, yes, Willie is going to offer totem card readings. If you don't want to be here for it, then go away. First of all, we're going to report any type of nasty comments because that is a Cherokee, that is a Native American tradition. And we will not allow people to come in and disrespect cultures or religious viewpoints. That's unacceptable. Willie is a shaman. And so if that is a problem with you, then, and if you want to spread your hate, go someplace else. You will be reported to my TikTok agency, who is registered with TikTok, so that we can have your account banned. Because TikTok has recently came with new requirements. And one thing that they will not allow is people harassing others based on their religious practices, period. Okay, so let's bring in our friend, Willie Windwalker Gibson. Hello there, Willie. How are you?
Hey, James. How are you? I'm good.
Well, we're chilling out. We're chilling and gonna have a great presentation, a show tonight, and we will be doing the totem readings a little bit later on. We're not gonna do it right now, so we're gonna share some. Again, I just made that. If you have a problem with it, go someplace else. You're not our dad. You're not our mom, and we're not going to put up with hate. So Willie is a shaman. He is going to do totem readings. And I'm telling you, moderators, I want you to screenshot any person that makes a very disregarding or hateful, judgmental comment on Willie and his religious, because we will report that to TikTok to get their account completely removed. And Jim, you're going to be the very first one that I'm going to report. Goodbye. We're not putting up with that. I'm not going to put up with that crap tonight. If you don't, we're not. I'm going to report you for harassment for religious practices. Plain and simple. And so every single person had to put agree on their new. TikTok has brand new guidelines and rules and requirements. And one thing the new owners will not put up with is harassing people based on their religious views and practices. Your account will be blocked. Not only blocked, but taken down from TikTok. So, nope, that's only going to be if the moderators let me know that we need to put sub chat on, I will. But until then, the chat will remain open. Okay. I tell you what, I don't know why it is with TikTok, but TikTok is the platform, Willie, that it's aggressive. The hate is on TikTok is so profound that there are many clergy members who have left TikTok because of people who claim to be Christians and say some of the meanest, nastiest, most god-awful things. But it's pretty
I've ran into quite a few of them, James.
Yeah. Well, Willie, it's different. You know, we used to deal with a little bit of hate within 7 seconds, 8 seconds. When we go night prayer, I have to put sub chat on. Within 7 seconds of pushing the go live button, night prayer. So it's a bit different. It's gone far more aggressive than it ever has been. I've been doing this for 23 years, so believe me, my friend, it is aggressive. All right, so Willie, let's talk about what is a shaman? How can you explain what a shaman is?
A shaman is a very spiritual person, James. A shaman is chosen by spirit. I mean, the way I was chosen, I was a cop, and I became a shaman because I was assigned to a Native American burial ground one night, and lo and behold, there was a cemetery there, and I was parked in the cemetery, and this Indian shows up. Next thing I know, he walks over to the car, and I knew it was a spirit because I could see right through him, and he introduced himself as Singing Fox, and he told me I would be a shaman, and I told him I was a cop, and he wouldn't go for that. He kept coming to me every night until I turned my badge in and became a shaman because he told me I was chosen by the Great Spirit to go out and help people with spiritual problems and healing and people that are lost, souls that are lost. I do a lot of clearings and do a lot of clearings and things of that nature in houses and on properties and things like that. I don't go looking for trouble. I let people ask for my help. Shamans won't go looking for trouble. You have to ask the shaman for help.
And again, he is a shaman, not a showman, a shaman. And of course, you have Cherokee heritage as well.
Yeah, I have Cherokee and Celtic blood. I'm a Murphy on my grandmother's side and a Gibson on my father's side. Okay. He's the Indian. My grandmother was the Irish part of it.
Excellent. And again, as I said already several times, Willie is a devout Christian. So Pentecostal Christian. So that's even more interesting. Nothing wrong. So let's talk about, and again, a little bit later on, we're going to do the totem readings. We'll do that a little bit later on. But tell me, Willie, let's talk about angel beings first. Angel beings and encounters. How do you define angelic beings in your shamanistic tradition?
Well, James, ever since the age of 10 years old, I've been visited by one type of spirit or another. I've been visited by ghosts, and I've been visited by angels too. And the angels are a little bit different. They show up a little bit differently. They show up in a bright white light. I know what the Bible says. Be careful of entities that show up in the light. But usually when I deal with angels, I can tell just by looking at them and the energy they put out. It's just a very somber, a very loving light. And usually they come in transition. They don't hang around. They come in transition, and they're sent by the Great Spirit. Need be. And then when I run into something like a ghost, it's usually a spirit that's been bound here for some reason, and I have to find out what's going on with it before they can cross over. A lot of ghosts, are afraid to cross over because they've done something in life, but they figure that the Great Spirit doesn't like them and they won't be going to heaven. So I have to deal with stuff along those lines. But a lot of ghosts are just scared to cross over. But angelic beings, you can tell, they just come and go in transition, and it's just the energy about them. I can tell it because I've been in their energy so much. I know when I'm dealing with an angel.
So what type of interactions or encounters with angelic beings do shamans typically report?
Well, I can tell you about the story of my first encounter with an angel. When I was 10 years old, we lived next door to a lady that was sick. And my mom would go over and do things for her, like yard work and stuff like that. And she became friends with my mom, and she thought of us as her adopted grandkids. So she asked my dad just to move us into her house and just live with her until she passed over. And then after she passed over, we could live in her house, and she would leave her house to us. So we moved in. About 6 months later, I was came home from school, and Mom said, Miss Beck wants to see you in her room. So I went to her room, and she was laying there, and she said, "Come here, Willie." And I went over to the bed, and she said, "Give me your hand." And I gave my hand to her, and when I did, she died. She gripped my hand, and she died. And she had a death grip on me, and I couldn't break free, and I was going crazy and screaming and stuff. Mom comes running in the room, and she saw what happened, and she gets on the phone and calls my dad. Well, my dad worked 5 minutes away, and he was there in no time. He comes running into the room and sees what's going on, and of course he pried her hand away from mine and told me to go in the other room, and he would take care of things. Well, things happened the rest of the day. We had the cops there and the coroner there and all that, and everything was taken care of. And we had the funeral. And about 2 weeks later, I'm in my room at the house, and I'm laying there looking up, and I felt a tug at my foot, and I looked down, and there she was standing there in white, smiling at me. I mean, this was not a ghost. This was an angel that came back. She was like she was when she passed over, and she, looked at me and smiled, and she walked over by the bed and looked down at me, and she shook her head yes, like I guess she was telling me she made it over to the other side. And this wasn't a ghost. This was an angel that came, and she made it to the other side, and she thanked me for being with her when she crossed over. And I think that's right there, James, is what started it with paranormal stuff with me because I could hear things and stuff like that, but it wasn't until then that I got a little taste of what it was like to be with an actual spirit.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. That's all right. Well, then let me ask you this then. And again, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking to Willie Windwalker Gibson. He is a shaman. He is of Cherokee and Irish descent. He is a devout Christian. Yes, he is psychic medium. What signs, in your experiences as a shaman, what signs or signals might indicate the presence of an angelic being, at least that you've experienced?
Well, I have smelt like roses in the house. I felt the energy in the house feels like a light energy. It's almost like you're enveloped in light, but you can't see it, but it's like you've gone into another dimension. And sometimes, James, I actually hear music, like a really like a choir in the background. It might seem, strange, but that's how it is when I sense an angel.
Okay. And how do you differentiate between angelic guidance and your intuition in your practice? Because a lot of people talk about, they have spirit guides, and many people will call these spirit guides their angelic beings, their angel guides. How do you differentiate between angelic guidance and knowledge versus your own intuition?
Well, something that happened today, James, I think it'll be a good story. As
Okay.
you know, and people out there know that Shaman Krupp passed away about 3 weeks ago, and you presided over her service and helped me get her to heaven.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is when a person dies, they leave their body, and until they're in sanctified grounds, they're kind of roaming around a little bit. And even after that, if they want to, they can kind of stay on earth a little bit and move around, but they have their spiritual body. I know this for a fact. Well, today I was going through some of her stuff, and as you know, Shaman liked to draw and sing and things like that. And sometimes she would sit around and draw symbols and numbers and things like that. Well, I was going through some of her stuff today, and I found one of her tablets, her journals that she done, I don't know, several years back, because she would do stuff like that, and she would just put them up. Well, I was going through her journal, and I flipped a page, and James, this is, and I sent you a picture of it in her writing. She had January the 18th, 2026. Shaman, the day that I did her arrangements for her funeral was January the 18th, 2026. That was a message from her that, she's okay, and she left me a message that, she's watching over me. To me, that's an angelic message.
And it certainly brought peace to you. No question about that. I mean,
so things have been happening supernaturally around the house, James. I've been picking up things and finding things that she's left behind but never told me, and she's given me I just get this urge to go over here and look at this. And when I look at it, it's usually something she's left behind, or a message for me, or things she's written that I didn't know about that she's left for me to find when she's crossed over. I think it's proof to me that she's on the other side guiding me.
Mm. Now, someone asked a great question. I think it was Laura, maybe. They were asking, who taught you shamanism? I mean, who taught you, the rules and the regulations and how to do the rituals and things of this nature?
Well, when I was 10 years old, James, and I've been in this, I'm 70 years old now, so I've been in this for 60 years. Mm. When I first started seeing and hearing things and having, I had the UFO experience and everything, all that like that. And back then, we're talking about the early 60s, middle 60s, and you did not talk about anything like that, especially if you're Native American, okay? Mm. So I would experience things, and I would go to my father, and I said, Dad, this is going on, and that's going on. He said, son, don't tell anybody but me. So right then, there's my first teacher, and he would explain things to me and certain rituals and what to use in certain situations like tobacco and stuff like that. He was my first teacher, but he told me to keep it to myself, and I would have other teachers. So along my journey, as a teenager, I was kind of feeling things out, and he was still teaching me. But when I got up in my 20s, and I became a cop, and I started seeing and feeling things like the shaman that came to me when I was out in the cruiser. He would come back to me every night, and I would actually get out in the car and walk into the cemetery with him. And we would sit on the ground. He would talk to me about things like this and what I was going to do and how the future was going to be. And I kind of took it with a grain of salt because, I was a cop and I wanted to be a cop, but he did not. He made sure I wasn't going to be a cop because it got so bad there that the energy was that I had to turn my badge in and go take that journey because he kept coming back and other spirit guides kept coming back to me, and they were guiding me to different people that were shamans. Now, I got guided to a shaman back in 1988, and Shaman and I had already gotten married, and I was telling her about the lady that was teaching me shamanism, and I took her to her, and she looked at Shaman, and she looked at me and said, good choice. And so she knew that Shaman was meant to be with me, and she would teach me, all about interdimensional beings and things like that, and how to guard against certain things. And she would send me to other shamans that she knew, and they would teach me how to do certain ceremonies and how to do medicine wheels and how to make dream catchers and things like that, things that I would need. Mm-hmm. They taught me how to make my prayer stick that I have taken all over the United States with me. A lot of the pictures you see me in, I have my prayer stick with me, and that holds mighty, mighty power because I actually use that prayer stick and to hold very negative energy back because in that prayer stick I have certain crystals and things that have been blessed by other shamans. And I learn every day. I'll run into a shaman in another area of the world, and we would talk back and forth. He said, well, if I was you, I'd do this, or I would tell them, if I was you, I would do this. And I've got kind of a network of shamans that I work with, too, just like you do when you investigate, investigate demonic energy and stuff like that, where you send other people out to investigate for you. They come back and say if it's real or not. I do the same thing, but only in a different way because they can come back and talk to me, and I'll tell them what they're about to get into, whether it's a skinwalker or a wendigo or any other kind of elemental being or any kind of nasty stuff that we talk back and forth to each other. So I have a network of shamans that I deal.
Okay. And folks, let me just remind everybody, please remember, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chats open. So TikTok is not the only social media that we're running the presentation on. So 9 chats that are open right now. Remember, I can only look at one chat at a time. So everyone must be patient and realize that you can only answer so many questions. So because a lot of people think that, well, I just only have TikTok, and then they get angry because I don't answer the question or ask their question. Well, that's because I have 9 chats on 9 different social media platforms. So that's what you got to understand. I have the presentation here. I also have a computer here. And this shows 8 chats that I'm looking at, plus this chat. So you need to understand that there are multiple questions, multiple chats going on, and we do what we can. Let's talk. I think Patrick was asking, do indigenous people, and I believe yes, because I talked to my grandmother about this. She was Cherokee. But Patrick said, do indigenous individuals believe that angels are here to guide or protect from evil? My grandmother always said both.
Both. We talk about spirit guides, the same thing as angels, really. They're all around us. Everybody has spirit guides, and they're sent in for different things too. You can have hundreds of spirit guides, and they usually do different things for you as needed.
Now, Willie, we're not going to do this right now. We're going to do it in a moment. But can you tell us, what is a totem reading? What is that? I'm again, it's very important. Here's the thing that everyone needs to understand. I think it's crucial in my opinion, that we learn from each other. We learn from each other's, even their faith, their practices. You don't have to agree with it. We don't. There are things that I don't agree with on many faiths. That's okay. But see, as a grown-up adults, what we do is we have a conversation. We hear the person. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, and we move on. But at least we learn. And that's absolutely crucial. We live in a society today where if someone has a different religious perspective to you, then a lot of people like to throw stones as if somehow they can have the authority to do so. You don't. And matter of fact, I would strongly encourage people who participate in that activity to behave, because I don't think I'm absolutely convinced Christ does not condone that type of behavior. So it's important for us to learn different cultures, different perspectives, not to agree with, but at least to learn. That's very, very important. So explain to us, what is a totem reading in the Native American culture? What does that mean?
Well, Native Americans, especially people that are in the medicine part of Native American, James, we use earth, wind, fire, and water. We use the elements for readings, and we also use animals too, because animals have souls. Even when an animal dies, it has a soul, and then goes over on the other side, and those animals become guides. And totem reading is spirit animals that I hook into, that gives a reading for a person. You know, like if you come to me, say I want a totem reading, I'll get I have some cards that have animals on them, and I'll go ahead and let you put your energy on the cards. I'll let you touch the cards. But if I'm doing one over like over the phone or something like that, I will hook into your energy, and I will hook into your spirit animal and let them come through the deck that I have that has animals on them, and I will give a reading from the animals. That is a totem readings, and we can also use other things for totem readings too. I can use like earth and fire and water, and I can use the like elements and like that. Or I've actually hooked into trees. I've actually felt trees and got readings off of them.
Excellent. And again, this is very important. And so I've already gotten notices that 23 of you have already sent me nasty messages on TikTok, and you can call me fraud. You can call me a fake. You can call me. I really don't give a damn. Whatever. I don't care. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. You don't pay my bills. And this is why I say to your friends, never accept criticism from someone that you would not go to for advice. There will always be people that will criticize you. You can give them $1 million and they'll stab you in the back because you didn't give them $2. So you just need to be aware of that. Okay. All right.
James, I'd like to say something. I also, when I do these shows, I put up a force field around me that any negativity will bounce back off of who tries to hurt me. So I just want to put it out there that I have my protections up.
Yep. Okay.
Take that how you will. Trolls.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing, folks. Look, again, folks, you have to remember, you're not being bombarded with the hate messages that I am getting them right now. So I address them. You need to sit in my seat, have 9 chats open, and right now we've gotten 7 death threats just in the show today, just 7. So while I'm listening to Willie, I'm also screenshotting so that I have to submit that to the police. So you got to understand, guys, there's a lot of stuff that you don't see behind the scenes that I deal with when I'm doing these presentations, because people who are just unstable and full of hate, and that's just what's going to happen. It's just the way it is. All right, so we're not dealing with that anymore. Let me ask you, the concept of demon possession, is that acknowledged? I know the answer, but is that acknowledged in the shamanic tradition?
What did you say, James?
Is the concept of demon possession, is that acknowledged in shamanic tradition?
Yes. Yep. I've ran into a few cases, James, and we might do it a little bit different. You do, but we have, and shamans are deal with demonic possession also.
And how would you recognize? What are the recognized causes of demon possession within the Native American cultural context?
The same as you, James. Usually the person gets into nasty stuff like they're doing witchcraft, or they call out an unfamiliar spirit, or even if a person's weak, like ill or something like that, or they're on some kind of a narcotic or drunk or something like that. It's people that are let their guard down and they're weak, and the demonic take over.
Okay. So again, a lot of people are asking great questions. I appreciate them. So this is normally we don't, when I'm doing a presentation, when I'm doing a lecture, I don't deal with questions because I'm focused only on the lecture. Tonight's a bit different. As I mentioned last week, we're just going to chill. So if you have questions, you can throw them out there. I'll try to ask them, but keep in mind, remember, we have 9 chat rooms open, so we do the best we can. Yes, again, I've already said that multiple times. He is a devout Christian. All right, can you describe a traditional ritual or practice used to address demon possession?
Well, James, it's like you have to if you're a shaman, you have to get into that person's energy and feel them out. And there are several questions that a shaman might ask a person that's under attack, or same thing as you. It's the same thing, only in a different culture that you do. There's certain little tricks that we have, and of course we use the same type of stuff you do. We use the smoke, we use tobacco, we use different herbs and things like that repel negative energy to bring the demon out, so we can see it. Usually when we're talking to persons that's possessed, they can't stand our energy. I have run into a lot of people that can't stand to be in the same room with me, and I don't even know this person. I've had people walk up to me and turn around and walk away. I've had people walk up to me and their eyes change pure black or red, and knowing that they might have a possession going on, but they go the other way. They don't want to tangle with a shaman, that, especially if you're Native American, they don't want to tangle with an actual shaman that could deal with them.
Yeah, moderators, if they want to ask questions, they let's just that's fine. Normally we don't do that on lectures, but as I mentioned tonight, we're just, it's a chill now. It's a chill night. Okay. Have you, I already know the answer to this. Have you encountered a case of demon possession personally, and how did you resolve it?
Personally, I had 2 women come to me one time, James, and they were best friends. Okay. And they both told me that they were possessed. Okay. I set them down, and one was, they were very friendly and stuff like that, but I could see that something within them that was like a twin energy. I was dealing with 2 women that was possessed. They were going through oppression, but yet they were friends. So I got to talking to them, and I have my little tricks that I use to see if they're possessed, like you do. And sure enough, the demons came out. It was 2 different demons. So they were low-level demons, and I was able to do my ceremony and get rid of what was in them. I was doing 2 at a time, 2 at once. And Shema was with me then, and she stood right beside me and dealt with it. And as soon as we did that, James, as soon as we got those low-level demons out of them women, they couldn't stand each other. They looked at each other, and they got up, and they left. They came in 2 different cars. One went one way, one went the other, and they never spoke to each other again. It was 2 demons that went into these women, and they kind of tag-teamed them. So that was one case I had that we were lucky that we were able to do it, like a minor rites things that you would do, but in a Native American way.
Okay. And again, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Bishop Long. And again, we make everybody know, it's quite aware, it's United States Old Catholic Church. It's the name is, it's in the name. Studied with the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years. Studied Roman canon law. Know the catechism quite well. And received my minor orders in the Roman Catholic Church. I'm here because God called me to serve in this ministry, in this church. So, how do shamans maintain their protection and energy when dealing with negative entities?
James, you know as well as I do, if you're in this field as long as I have been and you have been, demons just hold off until they get you at a weak point. And I was able to keep my energy up and have my spirit guides around me. And I had my protection. I did my smoke. I did my fire, and I kept them at a bay. But when Siobhan started getting sick, and I started putting a lot of energy into her and staying up with her all night long, and going to the hospital and all that, I got weak. I got weak, and I dropped my guard. But when I dropped my guard, I started doing strange things. I mean, even energy in the house was different. And I started yelling at Shaman for no reason and cussing and going on. And Shaman said, "Willie, you're not my Willie. I can see it." So I looked at myself in the mirror and I could see something wasn't right. And something wasn't right in the house. So, sure, I had you on speed dial. I called you up. I said, "James, something's going on. I need your help." Well, a couple of days later, you pull up in front of the house and you get out of the car, and I was standing at the door, and I wanted to kill you. I mean, I wanted to hurt you before you got there. It was just, I saw red. I could see visions in my mind of upside down crosses and, Jesus laughing at you and stuff like that. And you came in and you stood there and you looked at me and you looked at Shaman and you told us both to sit down. The first thing you did was you took out things and gave them to us that was blessed, and you told us to wear them. Well, I put mine on and Shaman put hers on. And, when I put mine on, I felt like a volcano was about to erupt inside me. And, you started doing your prayers and things. You gave us communion. And when I did that, it was just like eating a mouthful of, I didn't tell you, eating a mouthful of nails and stuff. And it just, my whole body just shook like I was been poisoned. And, you started your prayers, and this thing just kept saying, get him, hurt him, choke him, and I just wouldn't do it. I mean, my spirit guides hooked into me, and they held me down the chair, because I think I was actually trying to levitate, James. The way I felt, I was kind of rising a little bit. And then after it was all over, and we got rid of whatever it was just like a breath of fresh air. It was just like the house was different, and I was looking at you different. I knew you were safe, and I know Shaman was safe. She was sitting there watching it all. I mean, no matter what happened around that woman, she stood her ground, even when she just only had one leg at that time. And she just stood there. She sat there, and she did not move an inch. And she let you do your thing. She was protected. She didn't try to hurt you or anything. I think the angels was with her. And that day, I had, whatever it was, it got me at my weakest point. I was physically and mentally wiped out, and it just now we're going to get you, buddy, and it did.
And that's the thing with our community. With this community, one thing that we don't do, and I mentioned this earlier, we are not going to tolerate anyone coming in here and telling someone, well, your denomination is invalid, or your denomination doesn't do things that way or the right way. We're not going to put up with that. I'm not putting up with that. I think that is demonic. That is evil. It is divisive. It is cruel. There is no love. There's no empathy. There's no compassion. It's judgment. It's condemnation. And it goes exactly against what Christ commanded. Let's not forget that Luke chapter 9, verse 49 through 50, when people were casting out demons in Jesus' name, and John approached Jesus and said, they're not even a part of our group. You need to tell them to knock it off. And Jesus said, no, don't stop them. For whoever is not against you is for you. So this denomination elitism nonsense, I'm growing tired of it. I'm growing fed up with it. And I have friends in all denominations. I have friends
that
that
are. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around you for a quarter of a century now, and you welcome anybody with a pure heart. You welcome any religion. Like, I'm a shaman. I'm also Pentecostal. You welcome everybody with open arms. And I can tell you this, people. I mean, I have went to services with James and his other priests have, and it's a beautiful ceremony. And you can look out into the denomination. You can see Asians, you can see black, you can see white. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's for everybody.
Yeah, and you should be. I mean, but I just don't like this denomination elitism. Well, you're not a right church. We're the right church. You know what? Stop that. Stop that. That's not Christian. It is really, it's horrible. It is dismissing that person's faith, and I don't like that. And that is exactly the kind of nonsense that was happening in the early church times when people were saying, well, no, you have to follow Apollos. No, you have to follow Cephas. You have to follow Jesus. You have to follow this. And then Paul said, knock it off. It's not about that. And it is just too much. It's really starting to irritate me. There's a lot of attacks I've noticed on old Catholicism. I'm an old Catholic bishop, and I've dedicated my entire life to my ministry. My entire life. And there are some old Catholic clergy that drive me crazy, drive me absolutely bonkers, because they do nutty, crazy things that's not in alignment with old Catholicism. And that drives me nuts. But we have to be careful with diminishing someone's faith, a universal statement like all Lutherans or all Episcopalians or all are incorrect. We got to stop that. I don't appreciate that. I don't like it, and it's unacceptable. I don't do that to anybody, and by God, I won't accept people to do that to me. And I have friends. From all walks of life. I have a friend, Bishop Torres. Bishop Torres. He's moving into orthodoxy and becoming an Orthodox priest. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful. But he also has a diverse group of people, and that's what we need to have. Diversity is not something to be afraid of or ashamed of. And when we start ostracizing people because they're Lutherans or Episcopalians or non-denominational, when we start doing that nonsense, you'll have to answer to God for that. And I don't think God will appreciate it. Let's talk about miracles, Willie. Do you believe miracles occur in modern days or no?
I do, James. I believe that God can do miracles. I mean, I have seen people that were given up, have had terminal cancer, and through their belief in God and prayer and all that, I've seen people get cured of cancer. Just go away. And yeah, I believe in miracles, and I think Shimon was a miracle in herself, because the way she just loved God, and she was just too loving she didn't want to leave anybody, but I had to tell her it was okay to go with God, and I think she was a miracle. She lived to be 81 years old, and you've seen what happened to her as she got sicker and sicker, but she just kept holding on. And then I think it was a miracle, that God just said, "Hey, you've done enough. Come on and be with me." And I watched it happen. I felt it happen. So yeah, I believe in miracles.
Well, let's get into the totems. We have, and by the way, so Roxy, you were asking earlier, can some people have attachments without full possession? Absolutely, because it's demonic influence. For example, when someone comes into a bishop's live when they're about to have Bible study and call that bishop everything in the name but their name, or try to ridicule the community, try to diminish the community's credibility, saying, well, you're not a real community, you're not of this, you're not of that. That is demonic influence. I've never done that in my entire life. I've never gone to another clergy's live or anything else, or their own page, and ridiculed their faith. And by God, I won't tolerate people ridiculing mine. And so this is where I will start cutting the fat, because I'm not going to put up with it anymore. That's that. So what I'm saying is, you have to be very, very cautious about getting into that temptation. This is why I've said, if you truly have the Holy Spirit within you, you don't troll others. You just don't. Because the Holy Spirit would say, that's not what you're not supposed to do this. This is evil. Trolling is a symptom of demonic influence. And we have normalized abnormal behavior in our society. And so it's my job as clergy to speak out against this and say, listen, if you're trolling, do you not understand? The only thing you're doing is making Satan happy, because that is evil. Trolling, to use your words to try to hurt another human being, and then sit back and watch and get giddy about it and happy about it, that is demonic. So I just strongly encourage people, stay away from that type of nonsense, because the temptation is very easy, and the devil will tempt you. First Peter says, do not give the devil a chance to work on you. It's false prophecy. Yeah. All right. Let's get into our totem readings. Let's get into this because we promised that we would, and it's already coming close to the 9 o'clock hour. My goodness gracious, it goes by so fast. All right. So how do we do this, Willie? Why don't you walk us through? What do we do?
I will pull a couple of cards for a person, and I'll tell them what the card says, and they can take whatever they want to out of it. But I'll just do a couple of totems each, because I mean totem readings goes into a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of totems I would do in a regular reading. But since our time is running out, I can do a couple of totems per person.
Okay. Again, everyone, I want to make this clear. These are totem readings. Willie Windwalker is a shaman. He is Native American. If any type of rude comments are coming through, we're going to screenshot it, and I'm submitting it to TikTok to have your account banned. So plain and simple. So do you just need a name, or do you need, what exactly do you need? Or a question?
I don't really need a name. Just ask the question, and I'll give the answer, whatever the totem says.
All right, so that's how you do it, folks. If you have a particular question, that's how you do it. And again, I have 9. I'll pick it. I have 9 chats open, 9. So I can only answer one person at a time. That's it. Okay. So Mona is asking her spiritual animal.
Spiritual animal. You know, a lot of people think the crow is a bad bird, but a crow is a messenger, and a crow is a very strong, powerful symbol. So a crow is her animal, one of her animal totems. Yeah,
crow. There you go. Any type of health questions, you have to ask that privately. You'll have to contact Willie Windwalker privately about that. Okay, they're going so fast. My goodness gracious. So if you have particular questions, you got to ask the question. That's how the totem, the readings work. Lilibet. Who is Lilibet's guardian angel?
Guardian angel. You mean as an animal totem or a person?
Yeah, let's just do an animal totem, since you're doing animal totems right now.
Yeah, well, I get a spider, and that represents a new beginning. So people think that some of these totems are yucky, but usually some of the yucky ones are the better ones. But the spider shows new opportunities coming to you, and that totem will bring you new opportunities. If you can just focus in on the spider, that will help the energy flow there.
Now, on the animal totem readings, so are these just specifically, what is your spirit animal? Is that the only question that people can ask? Because a lot of people are asking questions that have nothing to do with...
Ask any question, James.
Okay, ask any question. It doesn't have to be their spiritual animal. They can ask any question, and you're doing a spiritual animal reading, a totem reading. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, Susie, I can answer that question for you. Anne-Marie, her brother, okay, he passed last month. That's more psychic medium, guys. We're not doing psychic mediumship. We're doing animal totems. So I think we're a little confused as far as what we're doing here, Willie. Because you have to guide. Because I don't know how this works. So you have to guide us here, because
is there a question? I mean,
well, there's a lot of questions, but a lot of questions have nothing to do with animal totems.
It's okay. I can pull a few totems to answer the question if they want.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. When you're going to be asking questions, guys, about is your loved ones okay? The answer is yes. I'm not going to entertain those questions. Because when we start getting into is my loved one is okay, then that means you're doubting God. And we're not going to do that here on this platform. So I'm not doing it. The answer is absolutely yes. We have a God that loves you and your family members unconditionally. And so are your family members here? Yes. Can your family members visit you? Yes. Can they send you signs? Yes. Have they abandoned you because they're in heaven? No. Can they be in heaven and be here at the same time? Yes. So that's what we're going to do. I just don't feel comfortable doing those type of questions on air. But if you have any other questions other than that, that's fine. Okay. Okay, they're going so fast. Connie wants to know her animal totem. Her
okay,
card.
Connie, I'm getting a turtle, which is a good earthbound balance symbol. So, Connie, if you're a little bit off balance, if I was you, that I would do a little bit of meditation to clear your mind, okay, and get yourself balanced. Focus in on your third eye chakra and balance yourself.
Okay. And Deborah, animal totem thinks is a wolf. Is Deborah correct?
Well, if she sees a wolf in a vision or something, usually that is because see, your spirit totems, your animal totems can come to you and give you visions of them. And if you get the image of a wolf, that's a spiritual animal. So, and it's a guide too. So, yeah, I believe that the wolf energy, if she feels the wolf energy, then that's one of her totems. That probably is her power totem. So you got a lot of power totems that you can hook into, and wolf is one of them.
And does everybody have a spirit animal? So like a spirit guide, we have spirit guides. We have angels and our loved ones absolutely guiding us.
Animals can be spirit guides. You can have a favorite horse that's crossed over and be a spirit guide. A favorite dog could be a spirit guide. Yes.
Okay. Doreen is asking, does she have a snake totem?
If she's drawn to snakes and she's got that energy, like I said, she's answering her own question. Yes.
Okay. Ginger Bixler, 8079, would like to know her animal totem.
I get an image of her animal totem as a dragonfly, and that's good transition, good energy.
And Risa's asking, she dreams a lot about snakes. What do you have any idea what this is about as far as why people dream about snakes?
Whatever it is, she's stuck in a certain type of energy. She's stuck. The snake is saying you need to transition out of the negative energy. If you're in a bad relationship or a job, or you're acquainted with a person that's got negative energy, they're telling you the snake tells you to transition out of that into the good.
Yeah, Susie, he answered the question. Yep, your animals, your fur babies can be your animal guides.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, they're going so fast, guys. You guys have no idea how. I mean, it's like almost impossible. Susan wants to know about a spirit animal.
Okay. You think? Let me see. A lot of these animals, I've got to hook into her energy, and I get a beaver is her spirit animal, and a beaver is an animal that likes to build. So if you're looking towards a new job, or you're doing construction or anything like that, and you want to go forward on a project, go for it because you've got the good energy for it.
And yes, animals do go to heaven. The Bible is quite clear that animals are in heaven without question. All right. Savannah, what is my spirit animal that guides me?
Okay, let me hook into her energy. I get an eagle, and the eagle represents the great spirit. So you've got the eagle is around you very, very strongly.
Okay. And again, if you have a problem with this, you can go away. It's that simple. We're speaking to Willie Windwalker. He is a shaman He is offering animal totem readings. And if people have a problem with animal totem readings, then we're just going to simply screenshot your comment. We're going to report you to TikTok to have your account banned, because they just came up with rules and regulations that you are not to harass people based on their religious beliefs. So if you simply don't, then just go away. Jax Paranormal. Jax thinks his animal totem spirit guide is an orca. What would you say to that?
Again, if he's drawn to orca, which is a whale, Will is good energy.
All right. John Paul, a spirit animal.
Okay. I get a grouse. A grouse is a good symbol too. A grouse is a bird, and it's also a messenger. And a grouse is like a fun-loving type of bird too. So, I don't know about. I'm trying to hook into his energy, but it seems like he has got a very good personality. So a grouse has been assigned to him as a spirit animal.
That's a great question. Can Bigfoot be a spirit animal?
Sure.
All right, very good.
If he's got a soul, he can be a spirit guide.
Kelsey wants to know the spirit animal.
Okay. I get the wolf. She's got the wolf around her.
Very good. There's a lot. And Ginger is saying thank you very much. She said you're absolutely correct with hers, because she is in a state of transition in her life right now. So very good, Willie. All right. Jane is asking a spiritual animal.
Okay, James. You ain't gonna believe this, but I get the whale, the orca, with her too. So this is a very good spiritual animal too, and very good energy. So yeah, that's you got a whale too.
Very good. And mine is Dracula. My spirit animal is Dracula. Okay, so spirit guide. Okay, let's do that. We haven't had a spirit guide question. Patrick wants to know his spirit guide.
Does he does he want to know his spirit guide? Or
Yeah, because that's so Willie, I got 9 chats and they're going so fast I can't keep up with them. So I don't. He just wants to know who is his spirit guide.
Let me hook into him. This is going to be an energy question. I can't do this with a totem, animal totem.
Okay.
Let me hook into his energy. See if I can do this. I'm getting the name of Larry. There's a guy named Larry that's around him as a spirit guide. I don't know who he might be a relative or not, but whoever that is, his name is Larry, and he's very good. It's got very good energy. He's almost like a joy guide. He's been put with him to cheer him up at times. So he's got a Larry that's a spirit guide that's around him.
Larry, that's pretty interesting. Who's your spirit animal?
Mine is a hawk. My power animal is a hawk.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, and Samson Red. I know Latin, and you've said that multiple times. Satan is not here except for in you. Okay. Again, imagine we have a Christian who is spouting off Vede retro Satana. Begone Satan, go back Satan. Imagine a self-proclaimed Christian calling another person satanic. Anyway, it's just stupid. Billy G wants to know about the spirit guide.
Okay, let me see if I can hook in. I'm getting an image of an older woman. She's got kind of like a bonnet, like her hair's up in a bonnet, like you would see, like a grandmother. And I'm getting the name of Eleanor or Ellie around her. And I don't know. Like I said, that's the image and the name I'm getting. And she's smiling. So she's been with her very closely. I think even at birth. So she was put with her even at birth. So Ellie or Eleanor.
Yeah, and guys, if you've had one of your questions answered, please give other people an opportunity to ask, because some people are asking 3 or 4 questions, and that's not fair. So I know everybody wants to hit their, I get it. But I mean, guys, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to do this again.
Let me tell people out there, I am going in the future. I'm going to have my own show. I am going to have a podcast, and where I can give people longer readings. And but I have to get set up for it, and I have to be able to afford to do it. So give me a chance, because I'm 70 years old and I'm starting over, and I've got to get my equipment together and all that. But I will give longer readings in the future. So keep me in mind, and Bishop Long will tell you when it happens, and I won't shortchange anybody.
Yeah, and John Paul, we've already answered a question, so we've already answered one of your questions. Okay. So now, first of all, if you want to contact Willie, we're not finished yet, but if you want to contact Willie, here's what you need to do. You can email him directly. That's really the best bet, because then you won't have to worry about, rushing or going fast or any of that other stuff. But you can Crystal Chief 55 at AOL. Yes, he still has AOL. Crystal Chief 55 at AOL.com. There it is right there for you. For everybody on all the 8 other formats. And you guys, there you are. It's Crystal Chief 55 at AOL.com. So if you have questions and you want it more in-depth, you got to contact him. And again, I understand of some people, I'm very skeptical of people who claim to be psychic mediums. Most of them are not. Willie is. I know he is. I know for a fact. I have no question about that at all. I've seen him in his abilities, so there's no denying it. And so, and again, you can continue with your nonsense about he's satanic. Well, they actually call Jesus satanic too. They call Jesus had the spirit of Satan within him as well. So I would rather be in the hands of Jesus than the Pharisees who spread the venom. Okay. Thank you very much, Sister Tracy, and thank you. Okay. A sin is knowing an act is evil and still freely committing the act. That's Roman canon law. Faith Love Fox wants to know the spirit guide, please.
Okay. I'm looking into this energy, and it's a Native American, looks like a warrior. It's almost like it's got his name is something Wolf. Let me get to it. Moon Wolf or something like that. It's a Native American spirit guide, and it's a warrior type spirit guide. It's you can see the war paint and everything. It's sort of like a Moon Wolf like that, and he's very, very close, and he's there for protection. Okay,
there you go. Yeah. How many more do you want to do, Willie? You want to wind things down?
Well, you've got a time limit there.
We can go until another 15 more minutes if you want to, and then I can do some articles. This is a chill night. This is a chill night, Willie. It's a chilled out
night. Whatever you want to do.
All right, Melissa. What animal protects her? That's a good question. What animal protects her?
You know what? I am getting the image of like a tiger type of energy around her. So a tiger is one of her animal totems that protection.
Hey, everybody, do me a favor. Let's. You seem possessed by some spirit. I see darkness in you. Put some light on. You seem angry.
Is he talking about you or me?
No, with me. I've gotten. You have no idea. I've gotten quite a few comments that I'm possessed, and then I'm doing the work of the devil by having you on.
Well, are you sitting in the dark because you've got dark on?
Yeah, I mean, I do have my clerics on, so I do have lights on. I don't know. I'm.
Must be psychic.
What's that?
I said he must be psychic.
He must be psychic. Yeah. You know what? We should really piss people off. We should really just piss them off. Yeah. Well, all right. If you want, let's do your psychic mediumship readings. Let's really piss people. Let's really make them mad. Okay. Let me explain something very, very quickly. Do I believe there are people who are psychic mediums? Yes, I do. I am absolutely convinced that there are people who are gifted. And I also know people who are clergy who believe them privately, that they absolutely believe people who are gifted, but publicly they say just the opposite because they're hypocrites. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I believe that there are people that are gifted. I believe there's a lot of fraud, but I absolutely 1,000,000%, I know people are absolutely gifted. My grandmother was one of them. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No doubt about it. So, there. Okay. Flower Lady wants to know, will her daughter get her job she's trying for?
You're asking, is that a question?
Yep, that's a question, Willie Windwalker Gibson.
Well, I'm doing an animal totem on it, and a swan comes up, and it's a sign of transition. So that's a good sign.
All right. And moderators, do me a favor. If you want me to answer a particular question, just pin it, if you would, on TikTok. It's easier because the chat's going so fast. I can't keep up with 9. I just can't. So just, yeah, if you like, oh, that's a good question, or let's, just pin it. And then we'll rock and roll that way. How's that? Does that sound good? Bill wants to know, animal guide.
Animal guide. Okay. Let me hook into him, and I'm getting a hawk from him, animal guide, and that's a very strong spiritual guide for him.
Okay. All right. So everybody, moderators on TikTok, they're the ones that's going to decide if your questions get asked. Sorry, folks. I got to have help because this is very overwhelming right now. So moderators, you guys decide. I'll look at the chat, and if there's a pinned question, I'll answer. Okay, or I'll ask Willie Windwalker to answer. I'm not going to answer. I am not answering. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so if you have any other questions on all the other social media platforms, if you have questions, if you want Willie to ask, please go ahead and do it. So Nicole is asking for her spirit guide, please.
Okay. Let me hook into her. You know what? I am getting a lady that's blonde hair. She looks about in her 30s. She looks like she's back from the old West. She's got kind of like the old 1800s dresses on. And I'm getting the name Molly, and she is a real very strong guide around her. Yeah, Molly is one of her spirit guides.
All right. Faith Love Fox is asking, how do you connect with your spirit guides? Can anybody do it, or do you need somebody like yourself to be able to help them connect?
Oh, anybody can do it, James, but they have to be very careful because they're opening themselves up for other entities coming in. When you want your spirit guide, do a protection prayer, encircle yourself in a white light of Christ in the name of Jesus Christ, and then call in your spirit guides, because you can call in a negative. It's just like working with a Ouija board. You got to be careful. And yes, you can call your spirit guides in, and you can also try. If you really want to try to get into the psychic aspect of it, you can start by automatic writing too. And just sit down and put a protection around it, say a place of white light of protection around me, allowing in the greater good. In Jesus' name, amen. And can you give me a message? And let them, if they start writing, you can get a write. You'll get a message from them. And you can also get they will talk to you. And if you're sensitive enough, you can get the thought in your mind in answers. So yeah, you can talk to your spirit guides.
All right. B wants to know, who is the spirit guide?
Okay. I am getting you. This is something. I'm getting a guy that's in a baker's outfit with with a white outfit and stuff like that, and he's holding like a spoon, like a cook. But I think he's a baker. And let me see if I can get into his name.
And everyone, only the moderators, please. Only the moderators pin the comments. So moderators, if there's a question that you would like for us to ask, you guys have to pin it. And I only want moderators pinning the questions. Go ahead, Willie.
Hey, the name is Thomas.
Thomas. There we go. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Because I don't see anything being pinned. Lucille wants to know an animal totem.
Animal totem. Let me hook into her. You know what? I'm getting a butterfly. It's another transitional totem and freedom. You know, she's looking for freedom from some kind of something that's going around from her. But I see freedom from it, whatever it is.
Okay. Beckalicious. Is there someone with Beckalicious? I don't know if Beckalicious is a male or female. Is someone with Beckalicious spiritually?
You mean like a guide?
I think so. It just says, is there someone with me spiritually? That's the only question. That's all I got.
Yes. People, you got to understand, everybody has a spirit guide. You don't have to ask if you got one. They're there, and they're there for you. All you got to do is ask their name. Put the white light protector on, ask the name, and if you get the name, the thought come in your head, then you can do it. I mean, I'm not the only one who can do this. Everybody has psychic abilities, and you can hook into your spirit guides. I mean, your guides are there for you. I mean, your spirit guides are not nasty. They're not demonic or anything like that. They're like angels that were put with you. And I am getting something from, let's see, I'm getting a boat. So this is like a captain, a captain, and his name is Angus. Angus. There's a guy that was put with you named Angus, and he's a very strong spirit guide for protection, really. The guy, his name's Angus. He gave me the vision of one of those sailing, old-time sailing ships.
Okay, and again, yeah. So a lot of people are asking about animal guides, and can animals be your animal guides? Yeah, Willie addressed that. Yep, absolutely. Mr. Pickles, the cat, spirit guide, please.
What?
It's a username with Mr. Pickles, the cat. Wants to know what their spirit guide is.
Okay, so this is a human, right?
Well, yes, it's a human, Willie, because how an animal can't type in the question.
Well, I don't. You never can tell, James. This is paranormal night.
It's a paranormal night.
Okay.
It's funny.
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles the cat. That's his username or her username.
They want to know what their spirit guide is or their animal totem.
Yeah, their name is Shannon.
Okay, you want to know the spirit guide, right?
Willie, I guess it's just spirit guide.
Okay. Let me hook in. I have to hook in. Try to long distance hook ins. These are rough. Okay, I'm getting a name of Mary, and Mary kind of looks like she's got a very sweet smile, and she looks to be in her 30s, long black hair, and she's got a long blue dress on, and that's the image I'm getting of her is Mary.
Okay, and we'll do just a few more, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, well, we haven't done Judy Ann. Judy Ann's spirit guide, or Judy Ann's either spirit guide or animal, and we'll do the moderators. What about Judy Ann's spirit guide, or well, this is both of them: animal totem and spirit guide.
Okay. Let me hook into the energy. I get now. This is the spirit guide is to me is a dog. A very I get the image of a German Shepherd for her spirit guide.
That's pretty that's pretty profound. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk out. That's pretty profound. That's all I'm going to say about that. So go ahead.
Let me see if I can hook into the spirit guide now. Name Adam. And he looks like he would be like some kind of a logger, or in the logging field back then. Or that's the image I'm getting. His name is Adam, and again a protector, because he's holding an axe. So I think it's a protector. Very good. And I'm not going to divulge why I know that the German Shepherd things. That's of all animals, really. Sister Tracy Ann, what is her, Sister Tracy Ann, and she didn't ask, but I'm going to ask for them. What is Sister Tracy Ann's spirit and
spirit, and animal totem.
Okay, hold on. Let me hook in.
Okay.
Spirit guide. An animal totem. She's got an otter, and an otter is like a playful type of animal totem. So she's got a very good personality and likes a good joke. And I see smiling on her face for her. That's the otter for her. It's a joy totem. And
okay.
let me see if I can hook into the spirit guide. I'm getting the name Charles or Charlie, and he's very young. I mean, like 18, maybe. I mean, that kind of young. But again, that's a joy guide.
Okay. Jack's Paranormal. Jack's Paranormal, or Jason. What about animal totem and spirit guide?
Okay, hold on. Let me hook in.
Guys, we can't. I would love to be able to ask everybody. I can't. So we have to wrap it up here. But you can contact Willie. Go ahead.
Spirit totem is a rabbit, and you might think a rabbit is kind of timid and scary, but a rabbit usually shows no fear. So they're telling you, not to show fear or anything as long as you're with the light of God. And I'm getting the number, the spirit guide of. Let me hook in. I get another Native American too, and I get the name of something horse. It's something like lone horse or something like that, and he's a spirit guide, and he's Native American, very, very strong looking person. It's probably what I would think is a protector.
All right. And so I have a goddaughter that April had talked about, and they want to know their spirit guide. I don't know if
okay. I get the name Rosie. It's a lady. It's a Rosie.
Rosie. Okay.
And it's a lady.
Well, very good. There was a lot. Now, here's the deal. So, guys, we have to wrap things up only because we're not going to be able to get to everybody, and I apologize. But you can email Willie. That's what you need to do. Sure, April. crystalchief55@aol.com. crystalchief55@aol.com. And Willie's been doing this for 60 years. And he's highly respected in the field. So you might want to consider heading on over and emailing him. So again, it's crystalchief55. Nuncha, did we do yours, Nuncha? crystalchief55@aol.com. Did we do yours, Nuncha? I don't know if we did or not. So I want to make sure. We'll do instant. Instant is what animal? What animal spirit do you see?
Animal spirit. Let me see. Let me hook in. I get an antelope, which is a very loose type of energy, joy guide type of thing. So an antelope is his totem animal.
And nunchaku specialist 777. Well, there's
a coyote.
Coyote.
Yep, a coyote is a coyote is a lot of people think it's a bad symbol, but it's not. It's like a fun-loving type of energy.
Well, very good. Well, folks, look, make sure you got to email Willie. I pinned it there on TikTok. For you, everybody else, there is the email, crystalchief55@aol.com. You're going to get a lot more. I wish we could get all of them. They're just I was not fully prepared to have this many people asking. I mean, it was just so
Windwalker's back.
Windwalker is back, and it was slammed. I mean, it was slammed. Let me tell you. So, Willie, I thank you very much, very, very much for being with us tonight and spending some time with us and sharing your culture, your faith, and your talents. And we look forward to having you back on real soon. Let us know once we hear this podcast. Let us know when that's going to happen.
It's up to you, James. I'm here anytime.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Good night, James.
All right. Good night. All right, everybody. That was our Willie Windwalker Gibson. Whew, that was, boy, let me tell you. That was busy. That was busy. It was like, whew, the head is spinning. It's like, woo, we gotta go get some relaxing medicine now. Don't I? I'll tell you, that was crazy. Because see, I have, like I said, 9 chats that are open, and they're going just as fast as this. So I mean, they were just. It was like, forget. Switchboard operators like, forget about it. And the poor moderators were like, well, we're too busy blocking people. We don't have time penning it. So we were busy. Yeah, our heads are spinning. We need an exorcist. That's true. Okay, for those of you listening to this on podcast, we say good night to you guys. I want to remind everybody, don't forget that coming up, we have our night prayer, and we're going to go from there. I think it's just so important to be able to share each other's personal experience. And I know there's a lot of people who have a different perspective on this and think this is all demonic. I don't agree. Let me just share something very, very quickly is why I believe people who are gifted mediums. And I've talked about this before, but there's a lot of new people here, and I think it needs to be explained. I have been on this tonight. I have never been called a fraud as much as I have been on this show. It was unbelievable. So I'm going to address this. I'm very, very aware of what it says in Scripture about not seeing soothsayers or fortune tellers, etc. You need to understand that was 3,000 years ago. It was a completely different culture. It was not the same culture as it is today. We're talking 3,000 years later. And I've explained this before. In this time when it was written in Deuteronomy, there was pagan influence with the Jewish culture. And you had to go to an intermediary in order, if your loved one had passed away, you needed to give that intermediary what they would deem as a psychic medium in their terminology. You would have to give them like 5 shekels per each god, a god of rain, a god of thunder, a god of clouds, a god of trees. And you'd have to give them shekels. And if you didn't, then they would tell you that their god would raise your loved one up, and that's necromancy, and punish them. So what was happening is a month later, another loved one passed away. And oh no, we don't have 10 gods. Now we have 20 gods. And now it's 10 shekels a god and not 5. This was occurring why this passage was written. I learned that in graduate school in the Roman Catholic Seminary. Now, I never knew that. But until I learned what was the background, what was the history as to why this was written. So their understanding of psychic mediumship is not the same as ours, any more than we use the term computer. Do you think they used the term computer 3,000 years ago? Of course not. Language changes, culture changes. So when you understand why that passage was written, to whom was it written for, then I think this constant attack on people who are gifted should stop. Because otherwise, you use the Bible, people will use the Bible as a hate tool. And then you're misinterpreting it altogether. And that to me is quite frightening. I've said this before. When I was a chaplain for a major police department, a medium told police where they could find the remains of a person that had been missing. The family had been contacted and they said, oh, this is the work of the devil. This is the work of the devil. Well, I was there on the scene, and you guys have heard this story so many times. The police found the remains within 5 feet of where that medium told the police where they would find. And I just found it kind of insulting that it took this family to gain something before they stopped judging and condemning people to hell. And I thought, that is so selfish. Why did it take you to gain something before prior to this, you were condemning them to hell? but now all of a sudden you got something out of it, and now you're thinking, well, maybe it can be a gift. I think that is so hypocritical. So hypocritical. And the family, to their I guess, honor, they start changing their views on it after they received, obviously, the remains of the loved one, and they could properly bury them. But I just think it's just kind of sad. It's kind of sad that it took that before they stopped judging. And I think that speaks a lot of our society today, regrettably. Do I think there's a lot of people that are frauds who claim to be psychics? I don't think I know. I know there's a lot of frauds out there. But I also know that there are people that are truly legitimately gifted. Willie's one of them. This I know for a fact. I would never, ever, I can count on my hand how many times I have brought a psychic medium onto my show in 23 years. And Willie has been one of them. So, well, a prophet and a shaman, well, I mean, it's Native American, it's different culture as well. So anyway, there you go. We're going to close shop here because I have to get things ready for night prayer. So please consider joining us. And again, for those of you who need to know, Willie Windwalker is a devout Christian who happens to be given a gift that he shared tonight. Moderators, thank you for being here. Everyone, remember, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless. Don't let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. So we'll see you guys in about 20 minutes or so for night prayer. God bless.